Hi, good morning, folks. Thank you for joining me. My name is Pramela Thiagesan. I am a Diamond Level Leader with doTERRA International. And this is a series of Zoom calls where we get together as a community of doTERRA users from all over, all different teams. And we hang out and we talk about whatever comes to mind. I never usually have a topic that I intend to speak on. In the time before the call begins recording, we have a conversation with the attendees who were there earlier, and we figure out what we're going to talk about. And today, I feel inspired to speak about finding your joy and being true to who you are. So, I think that one of the things that is that I've noticed, in the almost 4 years now that I've been with doTERRA, is that you feel very pulled to be liked by everybody that you work with. Be it your uplines, your downlines, your cross lines, and this becomes, this is truly a people business. It's a relationship business, and we feel that in order for us to be successful, we need to get along with everyone on our team, and that's great, and that's awesome, but that's not realistic, is it? And because there are so many personalities that come into play, sometimes I have ended up compromising on who I am and what is true to my virtue system, and in order to keep the peace, in order to access, the greater good for everyone in my team. So in this last year, I have had to really come to terms with the fact that I can't be all things for all people, and that I am in this business, and one of the biggest joys of pursuing an independent lifestyle through network marketing is not just that it is a business of relationship, but it's also a business of freedom. And and people focus on the fact that it's a financial freedom thing, but it's not. It doesn't stop there. It is truly also a freedom of being. The biggest thing that I love about what I get to do with my day and with my life is that I get to truly walk every step in my truth. Now, unlike a 9-to-5 job or a career where your income is very, very dependent on whether or not you are saying the right things and being the right way and exuding a certain persona that is required by your supervisor or your boss and your clients in order for you to get a paycheck. In this business, you really get a chance to define who you are, what you are going to stand for, what your legacy is going to be, and how true you're going to be to the virtues and the ideologies and the integrity of the person that you are. This is a dynamic opportunity for you to really shift not just what goes on within you, but how what goes on within you can influence everything around you. And it can be painful, it can be hard, because everybody wants to be liked by everyone. However, what is important is to understand who you are. So, I've done some personal development trainings for some people who've asked. They're like, hey, you know what? I really like what you say, and, it resonates with me. And I've done some programs, and one of the things that we talk about is, who are you? And, Stephanie, you talked about goal setting. Now, before, I think the precursor to goal setting is defining who you are and finding the truth of who you are right now, loving it, the good, the bad, and the awful, and then defining who you need to become in order for you to, get those goals. So a lot of goal setting looks like, oh, I want to hit elite by this month. I want to hit gold by this month. I want to have a certain number of people in my organization by this month. I want to have a certain number of people on LRP. I want to make a certain dollar amount. Those are tangible. And I look at that not necessarily as a goal, but as the side effect of setting the goal. So shift your paradigm in that way and look at that. Okay, so start like that's the side effect of setting my goal. But then who do I need to become in order to achieve that? Or who am I willing to become, or who do I want to become to achieve that? And then you step backward and go, who am I now? Because if you don't know who you are, it's going to be hard for you to figure out what is right or wrong for you. And at the end of the day, the quality of your life and the quality of the purpose in which you live is going to be very determined by how congruent you are. It's about balance. Essential oils are all about balance. Everything about a therapeutic plant and the use of essential oils is to bring your body into a balance. And so if we are in the business of balance and homeostasis, then that needs to be what we are. And so, let's do some examples here. One of the things that I ask people, I'm like, I want you to tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are. So, at first the answers come, oh, I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm compassionate. I'm driven. I am motivated. I am creative. I am, so they have all these words, right? And then I ask them, okay, you're nice, but is there a but? Are you nice, but if you get pushed, you're not nice? Are you patient, but if you've had a bad day, you're not? Are you, practical, except when it comes to shoes and you're not, So where is that exclusion? And if there is an exclusion, then is it true that you are kind? Because there are exclusion, there are, and they were like, oh yeah, but that's part of being human. I'm like, yeah, that's part of being human, but raise the bar for yourself and live in the truth. So, and be okay with the fact that you can say, you know what, I'm not always nice. And that is your truth. And understand that, and now take that and put that out of the circle, and now tell me, who are you? What are you? So the truth is, I'm a person that will always try. There's no but. I always try, because I believe that the only time you fail at something is when you stop trying. That's a truth. Another thing about me that's true is that when it comes to making difficult decisions, I stand in the line of justice, my justice, what I feel is fair. So I make difficult decisions sometimes because I know that about myself. I honor my justice. I also, and justice means that I don't put up with crap because it's not fair to me. What is your truth? Who are you? Because here's the thing, here's the picture that I'm going to paint for you. Suppose you tell me you're an orange, and then you say, I'm an orange, meaning I'm nice. And then you say, but sometimes when I'm under stress or somebody has taken advantage of me, I'm not nice anymore. Then you're no longer that orange. Now, an orange in nature is always an orange. When you put pressure on the orange, what comes out of the orange? Not watermelon juice, not the butt, right? It's orange juice. So what's your orange? And when I put pressure on you, orange juice better come out. So here's the thought. I am a kind person. And so when someone treats me poorly, that doesn't mean I stop being unkind. I state to them and I express to them and I respond to them with kindness still. Then you're an orange. You're always kind. So the first step in setting goals, I think, is knowing who you are and not fighting the truth of what you're not. Recognize it, own it, understand it, love it, and then decide if you want something different. So let me unmute you folks. Raise your hands. Let's dig deep. What do you think of this concept before we move on? Feel free to raise your hands so I can call on you. Otherwise, I'm going to call on someone. How about you, Valerie? Let me call on you. We've got okay, Sandra. Sandra, are you unmuted?
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so wonderful that you're talking about being you and knowing exactly who you are. I found in the last month, I finally realized at 38 years of age who I was and accept that and honor it, all of it, who I was, uh, everything about me since the day I was born, and then acknowledge who I am. And I wasn't, I always thought I know who I was, especially since starting doTERRA 2.5 years ago, because I had all these dreams and these goals, and it's so goal-minded, and you do so much work, self-development. So I really I really thought I knew who I was, and it was like magic the last 4 weeks ago when understanding who you have been your whole life, looking at your life, peeling back the layers. Who was I as a child? What were my circumstances? Who was I when I was a teenager? Who did I hang out with? What choices did I make? Where did I live? What did I do? Then as a young adult in my 20s, who was I? What choices did I make? Where did I live? What did I do? In my 30s, same question. And now stepping back and looking at all those different stages, now I know who I am, because in order to know who you are today, you really need to know who you were and what you did, and honor it all, and acknowledge it, all of it, and forgive yourself for the times when you were not, you know what I mean? Like the example citizen or the great friend or great daughter or everything. So when you're talking about knowing who you are, it's just magical. I feel like I I'm I feel like I'm me for the first time in my life. Like I look in the mirror, and the person looking back, I don't want to cry. It's just I can literally stare at myself in the mirror and be like at peace. Because before I would cry or I'd get angry, or sometimes I couldn't even look in the mirror. But now I can look in the mirror and I'm at peace, in total peace. And I wish for everyone on this phone call that today, you begin, for those who don't know who they are, maybe you're still questioning, what the heck am I doing here? That they find that, because it's so empowering to really know who you are. Because when you know who you are, that means that your weaknesses. Does that make sense?
Yep. And more importantly, your strengths. If you know who you are, then you know who you need to become.
Yeah. So thank you for talking about this. So freaking cool, man.
So, you need to know who you are in order to know who you need to become. And people, in this business, in any kind of network marketing, we look at, the presidential diamonds and, the diamonds, and we look at the blue diamonds, and we want to hear, oh, what are you doing? How do
Yeah.
all the time, like, how do you do what you do? I'm like, I don't know. Just do it, but the main thing is, there are so many systems in place. There are so many, programs in place.
Yeah.
Do this, get this, do this, get this. But at the end of the day, who are you? Because how you take that tool and implement it will determine it's not about the success, but how you feel about doing it. At the end of the day, we have only one of this life to live. What is the quality of that going to be? If we are constantly compromising on who we are and what we want to do and what is important to us, is the dream that you are chasing more important than realizing the dream of who you are? Because I think that if all of us were more congruent to our purpose in life, our candle, our light, the world will be better. In the last 4 years, I went from someone who didn't want to have any contact with another human being. I was a recluse, a hermit, to now over 4 years, slowly changing to today being somebody who's so transparent. I'll wear my heart on my sleeve. I'll tell you anything because I'm so clear about who I am. I've made difficult decisions in my business this year. And, you know, other people in the business may not understand these decisions that I've made. A very big chunk of my team that is worth a lot of volume was causing me great stress, a lot of heartache.
Ah, yes.
A lot of heartache. I mean, crying. They made me cry. They made me feel for 3 years like I was not a good leader. Like I was, you know, less than who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was always a constant push pull. Give me this or else this. Give me this or else this. They always wanted to take only what they wanted from me, but they did not respect my
Yes.
it was important to me as a leader and my expectation from them.
Oh.
So what do you do in that state? How do you remain true to yourself? I invited them to leave. The biggest part of my team, I took a hit. Do I feel the pain? I do. Do I miss them? I do. Do I feel like there's something else I can do? Yes, but right now, I needed to take care of what was right for me.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
And,
that is huge. Congratulations.
And you know, not everybody agrees with me, but that's okay. But you know what? It's been 7 months since I cried over that team.
Oh.
It's 7 months since I've had to have a phone call that ended with a clash. It's 7 months where since I've had to send out a message asking them for something and not getting a response. It's been 7 months since the only time they would contact me was because they wanted something free from me from a promotion. It's been 7 months. And it's been a good 7 months for me. And I am certain it's been a good 7 months for them. Sometimes leadership is about being true to who you are, being congruent to who you are, about walking the light of your truth. And it may not always equate to the popular, you know, like picture of like this, you know, you have to be liked by everybody.
Yes.
No, it's okay. I need to be liked by me. That's the most important thing. I have no apology for it. Do I wish that we had found a different way? Yes. But you know what? Life's not over. We will. We will. Just not right now.
May I add to that?
For growth, my time.
Maybe I could clarify a little bit. So when people used to ask me, why am I doing doTERRA? I used to say, it was the no-brainer. I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to help children and doTERRA helps children. So I'm going to help them build more orphanages. And that's why I want to be a presidential diamond, because I want to help underprivileged kids. And I want to help people that are drug addicts and alcoholics. I want to help them. And I'm going to do that when I make this big money. What happened in the last 4 weeks, everybody, you could ask anyone on my team, they know why I'm doing doTERRA. And oh my gosh, it dawned on me as I was leading an alcoholics and drug class workshop using essential oils, how to recover and stay sober using essential oils. Can you believe that it was during that class 4 weeks ago that it dawned on me, hello, and when I was in front of foster parents doing another class, it was like back to back. One was on Friday, one was Saturday morning. The reason why I want to help children is because I'm one of those kids. That's why. And guys, it never had clicked. Like I know that I had a crazy childhood. I know that, but it never had clicked in my head why I want to help children. And it never had clicked in my head that the reason why I want to speak to alcoholics and drug addicts is because I'm one of them. I didn't know who I was. Like, I know this sounds crazy, but you guys, I knew that I had a drug problem. I know that. Everyone knows that I'm sober now. I know that I had a drinking problem. I'm sober now. I know everybody knows what my childhood was like. But in my head, in Sandra's head, it never clicked that that's why I do this. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I do what I do with doTERRA. Because I am that child. I am that recovering addict. And since then, rank disappeared. Rank went poof. It just disappeared, you guys. It doesn't matter anymore. I just share doTERRA every day. And I'm here to help people. And my niche, yes, the ones that I know how I can help you, like without a doubt, is if you're a child that has survived trauma, and I don't care how old you are. You could be 2 years old or 67. I can help you. And if you're a recovering drug addict or you're a family member of somebody who's struggling with addiction, I can help you because that's who I am. I'm your cousin, I'm your sister, I'm your mom that's an addict. I'm that person. That's what happened, Pramela.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, that's great. And what you're saying resonates with me. Be true to who you are, know who you are, but at the same token, here are some truths. You don't have to make a certain amount of money in order to make your mark. And I'm very, I went, I evolved in my reasons for doing doTERRA because I really dug deep in what I needed to be. This is very important to me. So, at first when I started with doTERRA, it was very pragmatic. I'm like, oh, I get to help people and make money. That's awesome. I can dig myself out of this hole. I get to take care of, the needs of my children and my family and provide for them and health and wellness and all of that. And that's awesome. I'm empowered. Look at me, And now I'll tell you the reason why I do doTERRA is because this business forces me to become the best version of myself every day. It forces me. It pushes me up against the wall and says, who are you? Who are you? And what do you stand for? What are you going to fight for? And, one of the things that I'll tell you, Sandra, a big breakthrough that you can make in your life when you are looking at who you are is for you to understand that nothing in this life that you have experienced, no matter how good or bad, happened to you. It didn't happen to you. It happened for you on a small scale. And then on a larger scale, it happened for everybody who will meet you. If you dare to understand that this happened for you and you love it and you own it and you take that and you let that be your light. Think about it. Nothing in this world has happened to you. Everything has happened for you. And if you accept that and you embrace that, everything that has happened for you is so that you can save the lives of everybody else around you. Saving lives isn't just about CPR. It isn't just about pulling someone out of a train crash. Saving someone's life is about having them find joy again, about having them feel like life is worth living. It's about giving them hope that their life matters and that they are here to do something bigger. It's not about them necessarily having to quit their job, but them understanding that their place and their story and their voice and their life didn't happen to them. It happened for them so that we can go out and do bigger things together. There's a Buddhist ideology of, it only takes one candle to light 1,000,000 candles. And guess what? That one candle never had to use extra energy. It just burned. And it can light 1,000,000 candles, not extra energy. It's a collective consciousness. But I'm telling you, doTERRA, the biggest thing that you're going to get from this doTERRA journey is not presidential diamond or double presidential diamond or being the most powerful network marketer in the world. It's not about hitting rank in 4 months or being the fastest, youngest person to hit doTERRA. It's not about hitting rank because of a rags to riches story. It's not about that. The biggest value that you're going to find if you really take this and run with it is you're going to know who you are. And you're going to know who you need to become. And I promise you, the person you need to become is going to save lives. So set your goals. Side effect is rank, money, and all that it brings. The main goal is who you need to become. In order for you to know who you need to become, you need to know who you are. If you need help with that, I'll help you. I'll help you. I am hard on myself or kind to myself because I do that all the time. And I'm an orange, and when I come under pressure, I'm orange juice. So decide today that you're a diamond and embrace that pressure, because diamonds do not form without pressure. So let's have a little bit of feedback here. Let's have a conversation. Can we, if anybody would like to add or say something, just give me some feedback. I hope I'm not like doing like too much cray-cray for you on a Saturday morning. So let me ask you what you think. I'd really love to hear from you. Anybody? Because I'm going to start calling on people. Stephanie, let's go to you. Stephanie Sacker, can you give me some feedback on what you thought about what we talked about today?
It couldn't have been a better topic. I feel like I so connect with this because as with many people, I feel like this is totally true. I mean, if nothing else, I'm discovering.
Oh, I lost you there for a second. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I have my baby in the background. This is a big deal to me because my thing is I am very happy with the person that I am, and in this business and also in other relationships, I'm very structured in my life and I'm very selective, like I mentioned before. If it doesn't serve me, and not in a selfish way, if it doesn't add purpose to my life, then it's just a superficial relationship and quite frankly a distraction. So for me, it's embracing the fact that I'm organized, embracing the fact that I'm structured, and that I do set boundaries, and that I'm not rigid because I do that. And I'm not closing people off. I'm opening myself up to the people who I need to attract and who I grow from, and who also benefit from having me in their life. So for me, it just, at the end of this call, I just feel totally inspired, even more inspired than I did from, when I picked up the phone this morning. And it just really makes me joyful and happy that I am who I am. And that, after Sandra shared of who I was growing up and who I was as a teenager and who I was, as a 20-something, and now as a mom, and I just feel really abundant and really grateful that, nothing has come into my life by default. It's because I've created it, and because I've attracted it, and because I continue to apply what I need to grow. And so there's always more to come, and just being grateful for what I have. So that's where I'm at right now. This call, I just feel really full of gratitude.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I did not know what I was going to talk about. So guys inspired me. Thank you. So let me move on to Patty. Patty, could you give me a little bit of feedback or some comments on what you thought about what we're talking about, and have any questions for me?
I can give you feedback. I hope you can hear me. I am in a car traveling to my grandson's soccer game. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. No, I really liked, I have been on a journey with discovering that question. Got asked many years ago when I became a yoga teacher at a later in my age, they asked like that question, who am I? And of course I'm all like, I'm a mom, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, well, you're more than that, aren't you? And I'm like, so that's been my thought and journey. And so hearing us talk about this is, I'm still on the journey of finding out, because we aren't just one thing, but it made sense. You put a little bit of piece to the puzzle when you expressed about the orange. If you squeeze an orange, what you get is orange juice, So that kind of gave me another little thing to kind of look at and think about. And one of the things I have on my journey, and I have Sandra to look up to. I have, my other uplines, and I'm like, oh man, I'm just not like them. I'm just not this, I'm that. And that's the truth. I'm not. So just knowing who I am and how I can do my business. And so once I kind of let go of that and let go of, I want to succeed. I want to do this and that. It's like, what does success look like?
Yes.
And so, when I let go of that, then things are now coming into my life. I'm getting the people that I want to help and attract. I have a mom with a fifth grader that all of a sudden, I sampled him and not the adult. So it was like, yeah, I am that grandma. I am that mom. I have a nurturing to me. I've been told that a lot, and part of me wanted to say I'm more than that, which I am, but that still is a part of me. So it's really cool. I'm listening to everybody this morning, and like you said, it's a topic you didn't think about, and it's a really good one.
Yeah,
So,
doTERRA does not define me.
Yeah.
It does not. And it's not the biggest thing I'm gonna do with my life, guys.
Yeah.
But doTERRA has been the best rehab for me to become the person I need to be. And doTERRA has led me to you, because I think that everything that has happened in my life, it happened for me, because there are people out there that needed to know that this happened, and that I needed to become who I am today, people that I need to serve. And I don't mean this in an egotistical way. I feel that that's my calling, and I wouldn't have found you had it not been for all the things I went through, and had it not been for these beautiful oils. doTERRA isn't going to be the biggest thing I'm going to do with my life. And it's like everybody's like, when they introduce me, they're like, oh, this is Pramela, doTERRA Diamond, and it's like I've been like kissing Blue Diamond for a few months now, and it's not really a priority for me, because I feel like I am not ready to be a Blue Diamond leader. I'm still trying to figure out how to be a really good diamond leader, and most days I'm not. I'm not yet a good diamond leader. Have you ever heard any other diamonds say that? I'm not. I'm struggling. I'm finding my way. I am making mistakes and learning from it. And until I am a good diamond leader, I'm not looking to be a Blue Diamond leader. I need my team to believe I'm a good diamond leader. And until I am that, that's the journey. That's the payoff. And that's the victory. And so when you know who you are, you don't need the rank or the financial achievement for you to feel good about that. And this kind of follows the trend of what we've been talking about. We've been talking about making room in your life. It's like the example that I give is, if you have a kid who doesn't take care of their toys, but then they come to you and they say, hey, Mom, I want this toy. This is the most amazing toy. Give me this toy. And you're like, but you're not taking care of the crappy toys you have. Why would I buy this amazing toy for you? You're like, oh, because this is the toy that I'm going to take care of. This is the one I want, and I will take care of this toy. Now, as a parent, would you be more likely to happily buy this toy for the kid, or would you still have that doubt? Would you give the toy to that kid? How are we going to learn how to take care of awesome things in our life if we can't take care of the crappy things in our life? It's got to learn to love what is before what is can change into what will be. So that's a thought. Let me move on a little and say, how about, nobody here is on video chat. How about you, Carly? Carly, can I unmute you? Can we have a conversation? How are you doing this morning, sweetheart?
I'm doing good. Really enjoying this conversation because this is something that I know I want to definitely work on. As you've been talking, I've been trying to think like how I would answer that question, and really struggling with that, like how I would honestly really answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And that's okay. It takes time. And I really push people who come, onto my mentoring programs. I really push them. I take the gloves off. I'm like, they're like, I'm nice. But I'm too nice. I'm like, no, that's you martyring yourself. You're a martyr. Cut it out. Be firm and be okay with who you are. And sometimes I say, my truth is that I am cranky. Like 90% of the time I'm cranky. I'm like, and I have, I'm cranky because it's like I expect people to have the same level of excellence in whatever it is that they're doing. And when that doesn't happen, it makes me cranky. I'm like, I'm cranky. I'm difficult to please. I am difficult to work with. What does that mean? I value excellence. And I'm okay with that. And I own that. I am difficult to work with. I tell people that straight off. I've gone through personal assistance like people go through like underwear, It's like, I can't keep a personal assistant save my life because I'm like, dude, really? What? It's easy. Why do I need to tell you this? Why is it taking you 7 hours to do something that will take me 30 minutes? So, and I am not apologetic about it. That's who I am. I own it. And so what does that teach me? And what do I need to become? I need to become a person who's more defined and clear about what I want from someone if they're going to work for me. That's, so because I know who I am, I know who I need to become. To translate that, and go from there. And I'm telling you, this sounds like a personal development call, but it is going to really help you with your business. Because the reason why I say that is because it happened for me. That's how it was. And when I started with this business, I had this fear. Oh my God, this crazy fear of pissing anybody off on my team because they were my livelihood. What if they don't order? Or what if they don't return my calls? Or what if they don't like me? And what if they drop out of doTERRA? What if they join another team? What if I'm not doing my job and I don't, I can't go from elite to silver, and it's important that I do that because I've got these bills I need to pay. That was the thought. That was my limiting belief that I needed to be something that other people wanted me to be. And what happened was I was pulled in so many different directions. It came to a point of, why am I doing this when this awesome thing is making me miserable? And when I looked at myself and compared myself to all these beautiful, shiny, perfect leaders who like stood up there said all the right things and did all the right things and looked a certain way and, had these programs, and I wasn't that, then that made me feel like I needed to be that. And they are all perfect as they are, but I can never be them. And every time I tried, I failed. And every time I tried, my team suffered. Every time I stepped away from what was true to the way I lead, my team suffered. So here's who I am. I'm introverted. I'm intense. I don't care about enrollments. I don't care about rank. I care about education. I care about loving people where they are. I care about taking what we have collectively as a team and putting it on the table for everyone to share. I believe in abundance. I don't believe in poaching. I don't believe in the notion that you need to do everything you need to do to get an enrollment. I believe that you do everything you need to do to change someone's life, no matter what. And so if they've enrolled, then your biggest job now is to walk with them. That's what I believe. And there are no programs or duplication systems that mirror me and mirror what I believe. And so what do I do? What do I do? People tell me, oh, well, what kind of duplication system do you use? What kind of duplication system will you use? Why don't you use this duplication system? And it's not true to who I am, because I'm not the kind of person who will walk up to someone and say, are you open to alternative forms of healthcare? That's not me. I'm not the kind of person who would say, hey, let's sit down and go over, your LRP. That's not me. Who I am is like, hey, what oils would you like to try next month? I've got some samples for you. What are some of your health concerns? What would you like to see different about your life? And how can we put that together to fit your budget? And if there's a problem with your budget, let's look at how much money you're going to save because you're doing this. And if you're serious about your health, then let me help you. But I'm going to spend time on you, so I respect that you're going to take my time seriously and do what we're going to discuss. That's who I am. No script for that. What do? I tried different programs. I tried different duplication systems. I tried it, and it was tedious and hard. And I'm not saying, and please don't stop doing duplication programs. That's not what I'm saying. I still offer it to my team, but I'm just saying it's not me. Do I still use it for the right situation? Yes, absolutely, I do. I know who I am and what I will and will not do. And I know that I am not, some of the, I'm not going to be ever the model of a diamond level, a blue diamond or a presidential diamond or a double presidential diamond, and the way they, run their system. And because I am someone, I like to get in the trenches and I like to know my team, and that's who I am. That's what brings me joy. I like my life. I like my life messy. All right, I like it. I like the struggle. I like being scrappy. I like being gritty. Don't like it when things get too easy. It's okay. You know it. I know who I am. I'm a scrapper. So I own it. Who are you? Who are you? So let's maybe Sharon, you're on the call. Hi. How are you, Sharon? Can you hear me okay? Good. So tell me, what do you think of the content of the call today?
Well, I came in late. Took me a minute to get on, but so I didn't hear your original question. What you originally asked.
Well, what we do on these calls, we don't really have, a set topic, but, we were talking about goal setting in the beginning and that kind of.
Goals, okay.
Then before you set goals, you need to know who you are, because then you need to become someone new. That's good, not a fake thing, but, who do you need to grow into in order for you to set your goals, whatever it is. It's not necessarily doTERRA related. It could be health related. It could be relationship related. So that's what we've been talking about.
Okay, well, I'll answer in relation to doTERRA. A while back, there was this 4-week online class,
Mhm.
and that person, who I can't even remember her name now because I don't remember names real well, but one of her ideas and suggestions was to, her main thing was like, go out and talk to people. Don't push doTERRA necessarily. You just talk to people first, get to know them, and let the whole thing come into like a relationship. Find out what is their problem in life, what do they need, and then suggest to them the oil or oils or whatever you have that can help them. And that has helped me to try to zero in on people, and just it's made me have to come out of my shell to talk to people. So I have 3 people I'm, you want to say witnessing to, whatever, but
Let me know how to help. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Yeah, so I mean, I've given them samples. Actually, it's 4. My chiropractor, who I'd really like to get him signed up because he's a guy who pushes stuff, and he had a couple sores on his face, he said, from a spider bite that he had actually gotten years ago, and it would come and go and come and go. And I had actually gotten something on my inside where I wear my glasses, and I had just started putting Frank on it. And so I was telling him about it, and then he said, well, I've got these bites. What do you think? And I said, well, I don't know if the Frank would do something. I said, I think it probably would, but I'll bring you a sample. So now he's buying a bottle from me.
Yay, good.
And now I've been trying, each time I go see him, which is once a week, I, just try to bring up another topic that another oil would cover. So that I'm hoping that by giving him the Frank, that then I can, find another oil that he thinks, oh, that would be good. And because he stocks stuff on his shelves, vitamins and different things. And so I'm just trying to really get to him, because he would be a big person if I could get to him, to sign him up and he would sell them at his office. That would be really big. And that's not necessarily my goal. My goal is to help, to help him help people, or to just help people. And another one of the people that I'm starting to tell doTERRA about is a person I met at his office who is having thyroid problems.
Great. Well, Sandra said that Sandra just put in chat here that she is, chiropractors are one of her strengths, and that she's here to help you. And I am as well. And, maybe we can set up a call that, just kind of talks about how to approach chiropractic. We can do anything we want, but here's the thing, right? I never know what anyone needs unless they tell me. So,
right.
Yeah. So tell me what you need. I'm here to help you.
Yeah, I so agree with that. And a lot of the way to find out what they need is by talking to them. You gotta ask.
Awesome. Okay.
And thank you, Sandra.
Yeah. So absolutely. We can absolutely, follow up with this. And I'm going to circle back to Valerie. Let me find you, Valerie. You are unmuted and you have a call. You have a question for me, Valerie?
Sorry, my kids are being extremely noisy, so I've been quiet this morning. I just have a question for you about how many times do you really try to get through to a person? Because like you were saying, our time is valuable and we want to be able to help everyone, but when do you finally tell them just, hey, are you going to poop or get off the pot? Because, I hate to be that way to some people, but I have found in my community it's really hard to continually put myself out there and help, give. I don't know.
Okay, well, I've got an unconventional answer for you.
Perfect.
All right, so first, you gotta love people where they are. And that's why what we're talking about today is so important. If you know who you are, you're unshakable. And people will respond more to who you are as opposed to what you say. Okay, so that's something that's important for you to understand. So there are people in my network. When I started with doTERRA, I did not speak to my warm market because I was, I'm like, oh, they're not going to take me seriously anyway, and I don't want to, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want pity purchases, that kind of stuff. So my warm market is only now beginning to warm up to me, and it is not because I'm like constantly hounding them. There are people, in fact, even this month, who have approached me and were like, hey, I really want to learn more about these oils. And I have, like dropped stuff for them and given them information and invited them over the last 4 years, like drip, 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 nothing. And then there's a paradigm shift because I never wrote them off. I loved them where they were and they knew that I would be there for them when they were ready. I never wrote them off. So it's not, you don't push, don't lean into people. You got to draw them to you, right? You draw them to you. So when you have conversations with people, and if every time you speak to them, it is about doTERRA, or it is about LRP, or it is about a class, or it is about oil, then you're leaning into them. But if you are able to sit and have a conversation with them because of who you are, because who you are is at peace, you're not frantic about your business, you don't see them as an opportunity, you see them as a friend, you see them as someone you love, then you will ask them, how are you? How are you?
So just as a little example, I have a person who has enrolled, but she has not committed to anything yet because of financial reasons and whatnot. And so I've just let her know I'm there when she's ready and when she needs the assistance. And I do comment or call her when she has things that she may post on Facebook or things like that, just to let her know I'm still around. But I just don't know. I guess so. What you're
conversation with her that's completely not oil related, and if you're going to have an oil related call or a conversation with her about it, then it needs to be a picture, not words. And the
right.
And the picture is, from finances is a situation, then you need to dig deep and you need to find out how being with doTERRA and being on the LRP program has actually not just saved you money, but made you money. And I don't mean made you money because of the commissions, but made you money in the other intangible ways, like I'm not buying toxic chemicals that are killing me, because there are things that if she's broke, and here's the thing, I'm like a non-believer when it comes to people being broke. I don't believe it.
I don't either.
And here are some reasons why I don't believe when people tell me they're broke. One, because money doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's just what we feel needs to have, be present for us to exchange products, right? But money doesn't actually exist. We do. Our priorities exist, but money doesn't. That's one reason why I don't believe that when people tell me that they're broke. And then another reason why I don't believe when people tell me that they're broke is because they are obviously clothed and they have eaten something and they have a cell phone in their pocket and they have internet and they have, they have things, right? They have things. What I do believe then is that it's not that they don't have money, it's that this is not a priority. This is not a priority. So how do you shift their paradigm into making this a priority? You find out what is a priority for them. What is your priority? Why, do you own Lysol? Do you own bleach? Do you own laundry detergent? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I have to clean my house. That's a priority. Well, okay, you need to clean your house. Can I save you some money? Can I save you some money in cleaning your house? And why don't you just gift her with a complete revamp of all her cleaning supplies? And in exchange, she needs to give it all to you, and you're going to donate it to the pet shelter or something. But you will give her. Let's go buy spray bottles and throw some vinegar and baking soda, and because what people will tell you, and Sharon is confirming that, is because when you do use doTERRA and you are on LRP, you are saving money. So when people tell me, oh, I don't have money for this, I'm like, you don't have enough money to not do this. You don't have the luxury to not do this. If you are strapped for cash right now, you don't have the luxury to not do this. How does that sound?
That's perfect. I actually let her know that the $3 or $4 she spends every day on those energy drinks that are ruining her body can be added up in order to get on the LRP vitamins and things like that. So we've had those conversations. I didn't know if there was any, I guess a timeline isn't even correct.
It's your priority to get her off and the energy drinks. It's not her priority. She's fine with it.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to make it mine.
That's what I say. What's her priority? You know, somebody was talking to me about energy drinks, and they're like, I love the energy drinks. I love the way it feels. I love the way, you know, I get that fast boost. Yeah, but you realize that your breath stinks and your teeth look terrible.
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I said it nicely, but you know, that's a priority. Like, is that a priority for you? You know? So I mean, just saying, you know, like that was a bad example, but you know what I mean. Just find the priority. And
So help her to make what I think is a priority her priority, not my priority.
No, step back. Find out what her priority is. Forget about your priority. What's hers? Love people where they are. Your job is to companion them. Your job is to make them into a clone of you. Your job is to companion them, for them to become the best version of themselves, not a clone of you.
Gotcha. I will think hardly on this.
Well, and like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here. So figure it out, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me on this Saturday morning. Some of you woke up really early, and I'm so glad that you liked me enough. So I wish you all great blessings in this upcoming week, and I look forward to seeing you again next Saturday. And, you know, go out there, know who you are, own it, because you are needed. Nothing has happened to you. Everything has happened for you. Love what is. Thank you so much. Have a great week.